Okay, it's June 6th, 2024, D-Day. The vets, thank you for your service. There is a 76 Buick Le Sabre with 28,800 original miles on it. And I will be second owner. This is a car that I've just acquired. It's very minimally optioned, lightly optioned. It's a better word, I guess is the way to say it. Not even a rear defogger. But I'm loving it so far, and I'm enjoying a fun experience with it. You have 60/40 both powered seats and automatic climate control, but you even think there's intermittent white. There's tilt and an AM radio, and no speed alert, no fuel econo gauge, no anything. Just got the body side moldings off, but the odd remark is that something like this could be right around the corner for where I've lived for 30 years almost. You just never know in life. I'll tell you what, it's just really screwy. So this had, again, body side moldings, and they were a mess, and I haven't even rubbed the damn thing out yet. So there is a battle wound here and there, you know, with a little smudge and whatever, but I think I'm going to renew those moldings. Yeah, I love those sport wheels. Those are factory. I'm a Buick diagnostician, so I watched and worked on these when they evolved and when they were done. Will merit new body side moldings here, but the ones that were on there were crooked and they were no good, so I got rid of them. Look at that color. I mean, isn't that outrageous? So it's like driving a big, what was it? There was a Lexus, there was a Custom, there's a Centurion. There were all kinds of different Le Sabres. My favorite, I remember, was a Le Sabre Palm Beach. Look that up. Oh, it had the most beautiful interior you ever saw. You just ride like you're on a puff of air. Anyway, some nice memories there. For gosh sakes, look at the pedals even. Just amazing. Even the mats. It's not even a wrinkle in them. I just, you know, man, I never saw it coming. And no one wanted it, you know? I mean, I can't understand that. Total disinterest. I've already been up its ass, as I said, with 2 gallons of PB Blaster, and there is nothing going on. And that's that to me is the appeal. All original, right down to the banding clamps on the heater hoses. Nobody's monkeyed with anything. And why'd you get this? Nobody retrofitted it. Now there's the stupidest answer you're ever going to get, right? But that's what I like, is a non-retrofitted car. That's important to me. I'll have it blowing frost out and I'll take another video, but it's 58 degrees right now, so I can't do that. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. 1976 Buick Le Sabre, 4-door. So won't we? We'll look it over here, and I just, boy, lost for words. So nice and clean. Let's get into it and see what's going on with those moldings. Get started with that. Alrighty then, let's get into these moldings. Now, what happened here? Somebody re-glued these or something, and they just went nuts. And it was just out in the hot sun. It was just starting to drip tar. There's so much adhesive. I don't know, it could be urethane adhesive. And I'm just pulling with about everything I have here to get this off. And I can't tell you, you know, what a mess this made. And, you know, you can kind of see now what I'm going to be into here, cleaning all this off. And, you know, look at old enamel paint. you know, what do? You don't want to screw it up. And I ended up using some gas on a rag and just slowly soaked it. So here we are with the gas soaked rag and just kind of soaking everything down. Now look at, I'd just rather abandon these moldings altogether. But the problem was is they had been glued and reattached so many times. Look at that hard glue. And the only way to get that off was with a razor blade. I used every chemical in the book short of pulling the paint off. So I had to put a molding back up in its place. And you know, I'm encouraged. Look at, it's looking nice. And now we're gonna migrate over to the other side. And the same thing. And I just, you know, I got such a kick out of this. I just thought, man alive, no one would ever believe it. And I just, you know, I never seen anyone put on so much urethane to reattach something. And it was just running down like a scum bath. And that's what was the deciding thing, to just start over. But the point being, you could see in the paint, because evidently they were put on new. I don't think they came factory that way. I don't recall them coming that way. I had to go back on with something. I didn't have a choice, so it just backed me right into a corner, baby. Kind of up against a real impasse there. And boy, front there, I just got it off. what a thing! God sakes! Somebody was sure desperate one day. All right, so I decided to set all that aside and just get busy underneath. That's where you're going to always usually find me. And you know, again, here's a bicentennial car nearing 50 years old. And it's nicer than, you know, what I thought was a clean car with all my other 9 example cars. And it's just astounding. I never would have thought, I never would have guessed, I never would have bet that I'd ever find this. So yeah, with all that and more, this is where you're going to find me. I want to go into places where, again, the sun will never shine. It was never meant to shine. And that's where I'm going, up this car's arse. I'll be kind. And what I'm finding, and what I found, just astounded me. The beauty of the frame rails, the lines in their sets. I got a Milwaukee impact gun, put it on the body mounts, and they popped right loose. And the bolts still had the blue hue to them, the metric bolts, when that kind of thing started. And, you know, again, just looking for some kind of a cancer, a freckle, a something or other, and not finding it. And later on, as I get all these moldings off and get into those areas, isn't that something? Look at that. There, I just talked about that. Never thought to have seen that. I never thought that would ever happen. And no, not on a 50-year-old car. And, you know, again, this thing was for sale on and off for 4 years. And every time you put it out, apparently I missed it because it was just 0.8 of a mile up the road on the corner on the main drag. So as I look more closely at the floor pans and the same line sets, you know, the fuel and brake supplies to the SN are on the metering valves. Now I'm checking the heat riser, and I decided to pop the vacuum fitting off it, and I put a vacuum to it, and it works. The Thermax sensor, the EFE switches up on the air cleaner and on the intake manifold still work. The snorkel's shut to draw the preheated air so the can what they do, they started to blend air at about 110 degrees can temperature so the fuel would burn and atomize properly. And just all these little things that are the nooks and crannies of this car, it's just astounding to me. I just never, again, you'll hear me critique that phrase again and again, find that. Okay, starting to take the moldings off. It's just gleaming. It's just gleaming like new. Yeah, there's some dust in there. Look at, here's the clip. Okay, progressing to the left rear, driver's side rear. Just amazing. Still gleaming new. I can't even find a freckle. Not a anything going on here. Nothing. And here would be the molding. Again, a little bit of dust in here. A little bit of dirt, actually. Okay, and passenger side primary door. Shit. Yeah, I guess I should stop. There's no point in this. All right, but the point is well taken. It's just never look at, anyway, I just never thought I'd see that. Look at this. Look at this. I just never in my wildest dreams would have believed this, that a half-century old car could be gleaming like new. And that could happen. I mean, I oiled this before I took it out thinking there was fuzz growing on it and it was all corroded and rotten. But I see I'm mistaken. Okay, right rear molding. Oh, man. Oh, just amazing. Just amazing. Just amazing. A little bit of oil in there, huh? Okay, and that would leave Mr. Goliath molding, the long one that it's gonna, what, sail the whole wheelbase here, literally from front to aft. And, I just, again, yeah, utterly amazed. What I like to do here is more or less just kind of critique a journal, hey, what was this when I got it? And it's a neat selling point, someday when the kids dump the car or whatever after I'm gone, because I generally don't sell my cars much anymore. And to find such a rare, pristine example certainly, again, merits the thought of the video. To take you along in that setting. Hey, what's going on under there? Most times you're looking at Bondo and guys bringing magnets and seeing if the magnet will stick because they think it's all Bondo. Not the case here at all. So I put little misnomers, little notes, so when a museum or the Museum of Automotive History gets this someday, they'll open up that note and the note will say, well, what in the heaven's sakes are you doing here? And why are you here? And here's who I was when I was here, and this is where I got it, and this is the reason that I'm here. And those are neat little things to find. So it's kind of like a dog raising his leg and peeing on the car and marking his territory, I was here. Okay, and then everybody does this when they pop the door panels off, and I popped all four to see what's going on in there. I found the build sheet atop of the juke padding in both the front doors and another one under the rear seat. So that's a neat little thing with the car. And by the way, I Googled the VIN on this, no information. I've never seen that before. Nothing, unknown. So that's a neat trail to follow, if you will, for me, I mean, in my curiosity. Because look, often as not, isn't it, right? Or doesn't it? When it seems too good to be true, generally it is. And in this case, it really is true. And the car's everything that you think it's going to be. So I'm going to go in here and migrate inside these doors, and we'll look at those moisture barriers and that juke padding. And then I'm going to put my phone in there and see the real business, if you will, of the hems inside the doors and what's really going on inside there. And to my, again, astonishment, the theme in this car, it's a good word for this car's theme, I found nothing. And left little markers in there as well. But pretty soon, I'm getting discouraged. There's nothing to do here. I found the passenger side sun visor screwed to be loose, and that was the only problem with the car. Okay, so put them all back together, and let's move on here. And on top of the flat top, there's a little mini lift here. This one's nice. It takes it up about 5 feet, but I can get on my roller chair and just kind of look things over as I have decided now to hang those moldings, and we can look at those after I've hung them on there. And I'm going to start to give it a good polish here, which will be fun and very nice. So as I'm looking more at this car, a secondary theme might be this: it grows on you. And it is. It's growing on me. Let's keep going. onto the driver's side rear wheel. And just again, can't believe the chrome. Everything just so nice. Just fun surface rust you wipe off with a little WD-40 on this 76 example. Is this a B car? I don't know. What is a Le Sabre in 76? Can't be an A. It's either a B or a C, I'm going to guess. I think the ribs were E-bodies. Love that tinsel. Thought I said that. So there we are. Just keeps getting better and better here at the Smithsonian. Okay. Just remarkable and a laborious way of having fun. There it is. Look at this. I Googled this VIN. Nothing's there. Never thought I'd see that. Absolutely nothing there. Wow. Dreams really do come true. So yeah, those wheels, aren't they nice? You know, they have that certain appeal, and maybe it's the brown finish on the car that's starting to grow on me and my little secondary theme I just prefaced. And you know, I hope you like the moldings. What do you think? I think that part turned out pretty nice. You know, another thing that surprised me quickly, if you want to skip ahead, please do so, are how supple all these seals are, these door seals. Just really amazing. And, you know, when you look all over the car in general, they're all very nice. Yeah, I don't know if you can watch this. Just skip past all this BS. But this is kind of for, again, just a kind of a video diary. Hey, what was this like back at that time? And, you know, it's kind of a little date stamp, if you will. And when I see back windows like this, no fading from the hot sun or anything, or a decent headliner such as this, I think again, it's worthwhile videoing it. So, yeah, we can look at that molding on this side. And again, this lift makes it nice, kind of the necking around your neck or your bread buttered. And then you can take a piece of painter's tape or something, get a nice straight edge, look at it right with the line of your eye right down the side. And again, that secondary theme, it grows on you. It's a good way of putting it. It's having more and more appeal. And I took some Never Dull and cleaned these moldings all back up before I rehung them with my notes lost in time in those doors that I prefaced earlier. Had my fun with the wheels and the tinsel of the brake springs and the frame, and yeah. And put a cover over this seat and, to protect it before I put it away, and it waits for time to reawaken it. And there's a couple of North Dakota badges from the dealership there on the door jamb still. And gee, even an index roller, you know. I mean, I couldn't find anything with this. I enjoyed greasing up the window cranks, but that's about it. I'll go into the clock a little bit. That's the only thing to do. Isn't that nice? Don't you love those old 4-note horns? So that was a fun mission, and I'm now pretty much reaching the epilogue here with this particular car. And if I can keep my greasy ass off that seat and keep it nice, that'll be time well spent too. So again, you can just skip past all this. Again, this is a neat little kind of a video diary of for future reference, I guess, getting that thought out and critiquing again the interior of this car and everything else. So, you know, while I got a moment of pause here, just in thinking overall about what's happened, it's just amazing when you think about it. You know, how something can just be there lingering right under your nose. That's this pristine, and you're not seeing it. But again, a part of me kind of weeps because, you know, of that apparent lack of appeal. And, you know, for this very car and this particular platform, you know, I had a 76 Electra. and it was a sky blue color, and it had a white vinyl top with an even longer, I think, wheelbase back in the day. And it was just, the thing, it's just a really nice build. This is back when, the unions were full blown, and, you remember, you didn't buy a Friday car and you didn't want a Monday car. And gee, we found notes and bottles and pork roasts hanging in the doors, and lots of dealership stories. A lot of disgruntled employees, and things would happen during strikes, and those sorts of things. And I suppose that wherever human beings are on the planet, that's to be found in every workplace. Nothing new there, with that disgruntled individual back in these times. But, gee, you think about it. Now they're all gone, and how many millions of these rolled down the line? And it's just, again, a neat kind of a date stamp to look at something like this. And, again, the shame, no one there to see it and or appreciate it. My heart just throbs every time I take this thing out and go for a ride up the road and, take it over and get an ice cream cone. And hell, there's no one that has much interest, as I've said on my other ones, unless it's a Chevelle or a Mustang or a Corvette or something. Or something with big 50-inch wheels that jumps up and down like Donkey Kong. It's just, anyway, that's what's going on around here. And again, I don't pretend to understand it. And you look at those people and think, my God, where do you people come from? And then what you got to stop and think about is that those same people are looking back at you saying, wait a minute. What do you mean, you people? You people are you people. Okay, now that I got the wheels back on, look at that. What were those? 1977 026 was the replacement. Remember the old Delco black rotors? They were hard to see. They'd carbon track. Anyway, just amazing to still see that. I never thought again to see that. And here I am. So I'm just doing some housekeeping, having some fun under here. So I decided, as a last-ditch effort to pull the power seats out. And I just had a blast, shoving a lot of grease into the cables and wicking up the motors. And again, maybe I can find something here, or some dirty little indiscrepancy or something. Nope. Oh boy, what thick, heavy, angry tracks. And they're shining pretty like new as well. So I got those all greased up and again wicked the motors with some oil and got all that up and going. Alrighty, time to have some real fun right up my alley. In driving this, trying to burn all this old fuel out, I put some elixir in it, right? Good old snake oil called seafoam. And you could just feel the car coming back. But there's a little dead spot on it. And, some nice fresh gas will be welcomed. But I couldn't resist. I had to get this quadrajet carburetor off. And look, it's still adjustable idle mixture, needles and everything. No caps even to break off. And this is just when the emission crisis was setting in to hit. With this, what is it, a 7.5 big block 455. And I should have a tripod. I don't know why I don't get one. One day I'll think about it and try and do something here. So sorry for the lack of a picture. But get this air horn off this. And what I'm looking for are perhaps the small or middle venturi tubes. And I think they may have dropped down in the float bowl. And I'm going in here to see if that is in fact the case, to try to work on that little dead spot, get the choke rod out of the way there and pop the secondary needles out and get all that out of the way. And I'm not going to find anything. There they are. See those small middle venturis? And then you see the secondary metering rods there. But I have, just so many parts, on a wall of parts for these carburetors. And I'm just going to end up blowing this out, put a new power piston in it. Yeah, there's some of those parts. Look at things called carburetors, mechanical things that spun that had rotors on them called distributors. Yeah, boy, you're dating yourself now, huh? So all in good fun in the annals of time, and I just, again, just right in my element. When I got this car, the day that I got it, I never went to bed ever. I mean, I didn't get to bed at 2 in the morning or 4. I went through and just spent about 36 hours straight on it. And I mean, gee, like Greg Sachs, it was just wonderful. I mean, all I could find here even was a little bit of particulate down in the bottom of the float bowl, as is normal with that 471 fuel filter. And I put I've got a boatload of those, and I put one of those in. Anyway, some choke unloader cam seals, and there's the slosh insert, so the fuel didn't slosh around in the float bowl, and you didn't get a little burst of air in the mixture or anything. Anyway, that little insert there I'm about to pop out held the fuel stagnant. Anyway, pop a needle and seat in, and again a power piston and an accelerator pump cup, and hang a new air horn gasket, and get all the business going the right way in this 4-barrel Rochester carburetor. And just housekeeping, so no surprises here either. Just nothing new here again, just really astounding. So let's get the blowgun out, and I'll mop this up a little bit with a shop towel. Yeah, see all that? Just micro fine particulate. And let's get that blown out of there. So it's these little housekeeping matters. Maybe that's a good label that you have fun with. But look at that float. Still buoyant, not a thing wrong with it. No carburetor fires ever, no nothing. Let's see what happens. Okay, now we can see what a difference we got with just that little simple remedy. So if there's something, passageway after, again, almost 50 years, then I can reassure you it's gone. Anyway, protocol then was to get a pump cup. And you didn't have to change the plunger. You got these. And like I said, myriads of gaskets. So got a gasket. And then, you go to your archives and cam unloader seals and choke rivet kits and those types of things, from an old veteran like me in the dealership arena. Look at it, even have those slosh inserts. Look at that. Oh man, floats, all that good stuff. And later the MC solenoids. Can you imagine trying to meter fuel with a blunderbox solenoid? And we set the travel 2 to 4 30 seconds, and our computer pulse width modulated a solenoid. Very primitive, like a Popeye movie or a wind-up Victrola. Very fascinating for the time. And, everything in its evolution. What we laugh at now wasn't to be laughed at then much. So, again, it's a good fit, I guess. Everything in its time, I get these old horns out. I love 4-note horns, so I get A's, D's, C's, and F's. And get them up and going again. That's a C. C. So let's keep going and get this puppy back together. Boy, aren't you pretty? Oh man, thought I said that. So yeah, that would bring everything to finality. And I just, I happened to look and I thought, oh my gosh, there's something I can actually do. The clock doesn't work. So you just pop this long panel off and a nice angry steel dash, and here's this metal slug of a clock. And as I recall, we didn't have problems with these. They always worked, and they went the long haul. But I did check power to this, you'll see that here, and learn that in fact the motor is the problem. And you can send these out to have that electric motor renewed, that little piezo quartz motor, if that's the correct terminology. And there's a service that does that. And I thought, for what? So I hung another note on it. Hey, why are you here? And here's what's wrong with me. And if you want to fix that in the next 25 years from now or whatever, then go for it and get that motor. So again, that same theme, it does grow on you. And it's starting to grow on me. I thought, maybe it would have more of an appeal to people if it had a vinyl top. But the more I look at it, it grows on you in that theme again that I've said 50,000 times. It does grow on you. And I don't know, maybe it's the allure of the mag wheels and the chrome accent and the molding. And again, I tried to pick the right molding. Didn't want to hang a molding back on there. There's not even a door ding in the damn thing. My brother came up with a good name. He calls this car Three Sword. 1, 2, sit, 3 swords. And of course, the Park Avenues were 4. And the specials were 2. So that would bring things to finality and a close with, again, this 76 Buick Le Sabre. I'm going to show you maybe that one last time. Yeah, you are growing on me. That those seatbelt retractors. And if someone could possibly help me find covers for these, you pull these all the way out, and stitched on there is the part number. Gee, I've eBayed and everything, and I still can't find, for some reason, the doggone covers for these seatbelts. They're fully functional. They buckle. They work. All the ceiling retractors, everything, it's all there. Everything's working fine. So that's just a matter of aesthetics. And again, in the grand scheme of things, if that's all it is, I'll take it. But old Homer found the last function on his Swiss Army knife and got out his little miniature knife and said, I'll show you seatbelt law, as I said earlier, and he cut him right off. Now you ain't going to tell me you're going to bitch slap me with them seatbelts. And that's what he did. And the rest is history. So again, here I am, and I'm going to vac this out. Probably pop that rug out. Hey, remember when you bought an oven years ago? And you had kind of that gray, blackish, Bakelite finish? Have a look at this. Just amazing. With that shiny jack and that spare with a tit still on it, and his old Homer's umbrella. Look at this floor pan. Look at that oven lining right there. And that's what this whole trunk bottom looks like. All the wiring, it just smells showroom new under here. Again, never thought I'd see that. So never say never, people. Looking yards, looking barns, these cars are out there, and I guess this thing is a kind of a testimonial and living proof. And look at in this example, right around the corner. Never again thought that would happen. So there it is. And I guess I couldn't add anything more. Remember the mercury in those switches? It's like the mercury in thermometers. We used to break them and blow that red stuff all over our school desks when we were little. I was always on number 11 and number 13. 11 is doesn't listen. 13 is doesn't follow directions. Leave me a comment if anybody remembers what 12 was. I'd be curious. I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart. After that, it was S's and U's on our report cards, right? So here's that 7.5 big block Buick engine. Yeah, the preheat pipe, I've got to plug him back in. I forgot to do that. I'm not getting any younger. But look, when you look right up the girdle here, and you look at all the fasteners, they're beautiful. The parking brake cables, the tinsel on the brake drums in the back. The retainer's still there, never been off. Gee, I never had so much fun torquing the wheel lugs down and just, just a nice general overall cleaning. I took the piston and valve apart on the washers and got the washers back up and going. I don't know why. I mean, if they stay wet, it'll work again the next time. But again, the appeal for me here is that no one ever retrofitted this, and it needs a thermal limiter. Why did it go out? I don't know. A lot of guys used to bypass these back in the day. Look at that nice angry blower resistor and a nice big fat motor waiting for me to spot a hole in that end, and on the other end bushing on the inside where the squirrel cages and wick some oil in there. Those are the kind of things that I love to do. So that's the appeal. That's the car. There it is, a 76 Buick Le Sabre with a nice big fat 4-core radiator. And yeah, I'm going to have fun, take it up the road, go get an ice cream cone after this, and yeah, life is good. Who knows what'll happen in the next life? Got any opinion or whatever? Tell me. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I'm Tommy Z.